we begin our session, let's start by acknowledging the country. We acknowledge, recognize, and respect the elders, families, and forebears of the Gadigal people of the Aruna Nation, who are the traditional owner of this land and where Sydney is now located. So without any further ado, let's invite our Dr. Sabiha Sultana, our guest lecturer for today, representing from Sydney Met Business School. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over it to you.
All right, thank you very much, Cutie. Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to this webinar. I'm Sabiha, as Cutie already introduced me. I'm from Sydney Met Business School. When I thought about this topic, it's very relevant to all of us. So the topic for this webinar is From Classroom to Career, Building Skills for the Modern Workplace. So no matter what career phase you are in at the moment, it is very relatable to all the professionals and people who are doing jobs in different professions. So I think we all will learn together by looking at what skills are required in the future. So if I ask you guys that if your degree got you the interview, what will get you the job? What would you say?
Students, you can also type your answer in the chat box so we can read it out for you. You might not be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, we see Mariama typing and Pradeep typing as well.
Responses.
Yeah. So Pradeep says your skills and your attitude. Mariama also says the skills you have.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's correct. So of course, we are not denying the importance of having knowledge, having the degree. That is very much required, but at the same time, we can't undermine the value of skills that we need to develop with the knowledge that we have about our discipline. Thanks for your participation. So this is a very powerful quote. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So that's really important. The whole idea of literacy is changed these days. So I think this is, I'm giving you a little bit context about what we will be discussing today. So today's roadmap, we will see what career skills are required in the future. And of course, we will look into the recent research, what skills are required in the future workplaces, and the important question, how to develop these skills. And then we will also look at how we can do a skill audit for ourselves and what practical actions would help us to move forward in the direction of skill building. And at the end, any questions that you have. So maybe when we think about the future of work, we think that the future of work looks like this, like human and AI and robotics and basically human and technology interaction. So both will be working together side by side and basically becoming more efficient. But this is, we can't build our skills just on the basis of assumptions. So that's why we have to keep aside all our assumptions, and we need to look into the recent research evidence, that what recent research says about what career skills are required in the future. So when I digged a little bit deeper into the research, I could share with you what research suggests. So, according to World Economic Forum 2025 publication, according to this, 39% of workers' core skills are expected to change by 2030. 63% of employees identify skills gaps as the biggest barrier to business transformation. So this is really important that businesses do struggle because if there are skill gaps. And then fast-growing skills include AI literacy, analytical thinking, resilience, leadership, creativity, curiosity, and lifelong learning. So 170 million jobs will be created according to World Economic Forum 2025 Future of Jobs report. And then 1,090 million jobs continue in an evolving labor market, and 92 million jobs will be displaced. So you can see a huge growth in evolving labor market. So new types of jobs will be created. Some will be modified, some will be displaced. Then another important finding by LinkedIn Work Change Report 2025. According to this report, around 70% of the skills used in most jobs are expected to change by 2030. Again, similar finding like other. Professionals who develop AI skills are significantly more likely to advance their careers. And employers are increasingly valuing adaptability and continuous learning over technical expertise alone. So we can see that these 10% of the professionals hired today have job titles that didn't exist in 2000. And 70% of skills used, sorry, we have already discussed that. So that's why it's really important that no matter if we are from IT background or not, but AI skills, AI tools which are relevant to our jobs, we need to explore and we need to find out that how we can develop those AI skills. Basically, the whole idea is to increase the productivity, increase the efficiency, and also adaptability and continuous learning. So we will see these themes which are a little bit overlapping in all the research findings. So this is the third important research finding that I'm going to share. And don't think that I will be teaching you research or I will be making you getting bored of looking at this research, but I thought that it's really important to set the tone and also to talk based on the facts, based on the evidence. So according to Microsoft 2025 Annual Work Trend Index, Gen AI is transforming how work is completed. And employees are increasingly expected to use AI in order to do their routine tasks. So basically, they want to focus on creativity. They want to spend more time on strategic thinking and collaboration, teamwork, rather than doing those routine tasks by themselves. So they're basically offloading some of the repetitive tasks, very routine tasks that AI can easily do for them. And according to this survey, organizations are seeking workers who can effectively combine human judgment with AI capabilities. So if you look at their findings, it's a complete report which is available, and you can see that how they are suggesting that organizations are going through this digital transformation. So first, every employee has an AI assistant that is helping them to work. And then agents join the human teams as digital colleagues. And then humans basically take charge and setting the directions and asking the AI agents to do the job that humans want them to do the job. So basically, you can see that how organizations are looking at the trend in the future, that how organizations will perform their functions. Humans will still have the power at the top to decide what to do. Okay, so time for reflection. Imagine that AI can perform 80% of your future job. What 20% would still require you? And again, feel free to drop your responses in the chat.
Yes, the students, if actually Sabiha Sultana herself, if AI can perform 80% of your future job, what 20% would still require you? You can also put it in comments. We'll read it out for you. I see Pradeep typing. Yep. So he has commented soft skills like communication and leaderships. If anybody of you wants to drop more, you can just put it down in the comments.
Thank you, Pradeep. Yes, that's great. Good answer.
He has also mentioned learning and adaptive natures.
Adaptability. Okay, so if other people can also reflect on the jobs that they do and maybe in future, the jobs that they will be doing, imagine that if, I mean, try to reflect that how we will still demonstrate that our skills are still very relevant and very valuable. Okay, so based on all this research, we can see that according to World Economic Forum, these are the core skills which are required in future. So analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility and agility, leadership and social influence, creative thinking, motivation and self-awareness, technological literacy, empathy and active listening, curiosity and lifelong learning, talent management, service orientation, and customer service. So again, these are evidence-based. And according to the research, future career success depends not only on technical expertise, but also on developing human, cognitive, leadership, technology skills, and lifelong learning. So the question is how we can develop these skills. So that is an important question. So we can see research supports this, that analytical thinking is very important. So it means that we can use information and we can make decisions based on the information. So according to research, analytical thinking remains the most important workplace skill because employers are increasingly value employees who can evaluate evidence and they can solve complex problems and they can make informed decisions. So evidence-based decision making, it starts with analytical thinking. So how we can develop it? So I would say that as a student, if you are doing your assessments and you are studying your case studies and you're analyzing them. So try to sharpen your analytical thinking skills. So solve real business cases. And those who are working, of course, everybody is working in different roles. So whatever problems you are facing at workplace, try to solve those real life problems. And also try to solve on the basis of the available data, available evidence, and facts that you have. So it will also help us to develop this skill. And also whatever tools you have access to use data, to play around data, and to generate some results based on the data. These are different tools available: Excel, Power BI, Tableau. And also, whenever we solve any business problem, it's important to reflect on the decisions that we made or any mistakes that we have made. So next time we can do better. And whenever we read any business news, different business articles in e-media, so try to analyze those cases based on the evidence. So I basically tried to group these similar skills together. For instance, resilience, flexibility, and leadership. So these are a bit overlapping. So I put them together. So we all know that rapid technological change requires graduates who can adapt and recover from setbacks, those who are resilient. So they can confidently lead others through uncertainty. So how to build resilience? We need to step out of our comfort zone, and there are many benefits of failure, but the problem is that the way we are raised and the way we are brought up, the way society teaches us that failure is always bad, which is not true. So we always learn from failure. So rather than being depressed and rather than being holding on to ourselves, we need to treat failure as feedback and learn from it. And also, I know that it's stressful, but we need to learn how to manage our stress, and also having growth mindset, because when we have growth mindset, it is totally different than fixed mindset, and it gives us that energy to stand up after the failures, and it gives us energy to start over again. And how to build leadership. So there are a few tips at the back, towards the end of the webinar as well. But for now, we can say that, yes, whenever you are given any opportunity, volunteer opportunity to lead any group projects, because as a student, you are also working on group projects. So try to volunteer and lead that project, because we develop a lot of skills in our academic life as well. When we lead others, it's not easy to lead, especially unmotivated group members, right? And also leading them to finish the product with very good quality. And meeting the deadline as well. So we learn a lot of skills when we work on our group projects. So that also helps us in building those leadership skills. And also mentoring others, other friends, classmates, joining student clubs. So I know that there are so many student clubs available for students to join, and that also help you to build those leadership skills. Ask for feedback. It's good to ask for feedback because it helps us to improve. And also, leadership is not something that people born with. Leadership is a skill, and there are so many behaviors included in leadership, and we all can learn that. All right, moving forward, creative thinking and self-awareness. So learning doesn't start without self-awareness. So for self-awareness, let's start with creativity. So how people and businesses innovate, they combine existing ideas but in new ways, and that's how they come up with new products and new solutions to the problems. So we can have a habit of brainstorming, And brainstorming is a process where we teach our brain to generate as many ideas, as many solutions to the problems. So don't be judgmental at the initial stage, and always brainstorm and generate as many solutions, as many ideas as you can. And also having design thinking approach, that how to solve this problem and what our end user wants from customer's perspective, asking what if questions. And when it comes to self-awareness, so people who are emotionally intelligent, they have a very high level of self-awareness. So emotional intelligence is all about understanding our own emotions, understanding others, and also having this ability to regulate our emotions and understand how to express them appropriately in different situations. So having a reflection journal or just reflective activities, and getting feedback from others, also understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and setting some SMART goals for ourselves based on the weaknesses or gaps. Another important skill that research says is technological literacy. So there are so many various free tools available for us to learn. So it's not only about using softwares, but it's also about understanding how we can use AI in our jobs in order to be more efficient. So different, and also as a student, we need to learn how to be good at write AI prompts. And I guess that people are good these days. And also other available tools like Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, etc. And also make data visual, because it helps us to understand the situation better and solve it better. And also cybersecurity basics, because we need to know that as a student, as an employee. So AI won't replace people, because those people who know how to use AI effectively, that becomes a competitive advantage for that person and for the company as well. All right, so I know that we are running out of time almost, so we don't have much time left. However, you'll have a very quick look at these remaining skills: empathy and lifelong learning. Empathy, active listening. So asking questions if we are unsure about anything, and also appreciating and respecting diverse perspectives. And having this ability, welcoming this opportunity to work in multicultural teams, because sometimes students try to join with people similar background. So always we need to come out of comfort zone. And also lifelong learning. We can develop the habit of reading. We can also take free online courses, and we can follow the industry leaders, that what they are talking about, what skills do we need and how to develop them. And also micro credentials. So there are so many free resources available that we can explore, relevant to our jobs, relevant to our discipline. So this last one is talent development and customer focus. So those people who are good at these skills, they're also happy to mentor others and help their colleagues, help their friends. They coach them, they mentor them, and through knowledge sharing, they basically learn more. And customer orientation. So basically, whatever we do at work, the end user is always a customer. So having empathy and having genuine interest in helping the customer, that is also a very valuable skill. So now, looking at these findings, which one skill do you think will have the greatest impact on your career over the next 5 years? And why? Okay, I know that the time, we have to leave some time for questions as well. All right, you can, meanwhile, we can move forward and you can drop your response to that reflective activity in the chat. All right. So, habits that build future skills, and these are backed by research. Read for 20 minutes daily. Use AI as a learning partner, not a shortcut. Uh, and reflect after every project. Seek regular feedback. Network with professionals. Complete one certification every year. Teach others what you have learned. This is a personal skill development plan. So all these skills that we have talked about, you can make something like skill audit or skill audit matrix, and you can rate yourself against these skills from 1 to 5, and then you can set the goal where you lack. You can set that goal, and you can set some action. What do you need to do in order to develop that skill? And you can do that later. So basically, these days, the employability formula is that you got the degree, you need to get some experience, and now you need to build the relevant skills. You need to network with within your industry with professionals and build your own personal brand, what you are known for, what you are famous for, and what people know about you, and career readiness. So I know that degrees open doors, but skills create more opportunities, and adaptability sustain those careers. And continuous learning is the new job security. So we all have to start building future ready skills. So we can conclude that we need technical skills, we need human skills as well, we need AI literacy, and we need to have an orientation towards lifelong learning. So this trimester, what you can do, you can join the student club, complete any industry project that you get an opportunity related to your assessments, maybe build your LinkedIn profile that will help you to build your brand, conduct one informational interview, and learn one AI tool relevant to your discipline or job, and volunteer for a leadership role. So I would end with this powerful quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. It's one skill you will start developing this week. I know we have some medium-term goals, long-term goals, but we have to set something short-term. Okay, so now it's please ask questions if you have any. You can drop in the chat as well. Sorry for not leaving much time for questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabiha, for your insightful sharings in your leadership and teamwork, and also how to build your skills. That was very insightful. I believe all of the students have learned something from it. And thank you for also promoting our clubs. In Sydney we have 5 clubs, and if you're interested, please feel free to join. And if you want to learn more about the clubs, you can just come to reception or visit student support team. We can help you assist regarding it as well. And also, if you have any questions regarding to this session, please feel free to drop your suggestion or your question. Besides that, we also have okay, Pradeep has said such an informative session. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was indeed a very informative session. Students, before we conclude, or if you want to ask questions, please do so. We also have event or webinar feedback form. So if you like this webinar and if you want to provide a feedback, please share your thoughts in the form so we can, improve or improvise. Like Dr. Sabiha mentioned earlier, getting a feedback is very important so you can improve your skill. So please feel free to note down your feedbacks or even ask question right now. If not, then yeah, maybe they might be having classes anytime soon. So we can conclude the session, and if the chat will still remain till the very end. So maybe if Dr. Sabiha has her time later on, she can look at the questions that you guys have. So you can mention there. Okay. So we don't want to take much time. So thank you so much once again, Dr. Sabiha, for accepting our invitation. See you all for our next webinar. See you. Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.